If someone came to you and said, we're going to disrupt your entire neighborhood, how upset would you be? You might ask questions like, what do you mean disrupt it? Well, everything. We're going to change how the water system works. We're going to change how the road systems work. We're going to change ownership structures. We're going to change which side of the road you drive on. We're going to change the activities you're allowed to do in your yard. We're installing an HOA. Wait, we didn't vote for an HOA. Yeah, we know, but we're installing one. And we're going to change everything. How would you respond? Well, what if it wasn't really your neighbors, but it was the rich people up the hill? Let's say that you live in the middle of the hill, right on top of the hill, there's the rich folks. And the rich folks said it. We're going to disrupt everything about your daily life because we want to. What if they promised it? What would you do? How would you respond? Yeah, there's a reason I'm asking. I'll explain that in a second. Today is the day the Lord has made, and these are the times through which God has decided we shall live. This is the Todd Herman Show in clip form. If you're watching this in clip form, we do a long full-length show, which is an hour. In fact, we may be going back to that, but we'll see. The Club of Rome co-president decided to make a promise to people, and this promise is about disruption.
The second scenario is the giant leap. We wanted to identify a small set of actions, a minimum viable product, to reach as many sustainable development goals in Europe's vision of a social and green region.
Wow, catchphrase heaven. A minimalist release goal like software. What is the minimum features it must have? Ecosystem. What else did she say? She continues here.
We wanted to take a systems approach to explore if we can achieve an acceptable level of well-being for the global majority on a finite planet.
An acceptable level of being for a global population on a finite planet. Now, apply this to the neighborhood scenario. Well, we're doing this because we wanted to establish an acceptable level of being in a finite neighborhood. But we're going to do it in a way that's sustainable. And it's a system-based approach. And these are the rich people looking down the hill at you. And they're speaking it from on high. They don't come and see you. They're in the back of their decks yelling it down. We're going to do a systems approach for a sustainable ecosystem for a serviceable level of being in our finite neighborhood. But we're doing it because we love you. I mean, they don't have control. They're not government, but they're the rich people above the hill who can go buy government. I want you to hear the rest of what this lady promises. Then I'll give you an example of this coming true. In your home, despite the rich people up the hill and that stink they produce, I'm kidding, rich people don't stink, but if there is in your home or your RV or your vacation home, or I keep thinking for some reason about long-haul truckers and people who go on long vacations in RVs, that stuff doesn't always render great smells. Like 3 or 4 adults packed into an RV or a vacation place, a bunch of adolescent kids, cats, dogs, cooking. In the long-haul trucking scenario, you live in that thing for a long time. You can solve the problem of the stink and, in fact, help just reduce the risk of viruses by using the Oxyleaf 2 Thunderstorm device. It comes with a USB connection, or you can plug it straight into the wall. It produces ozone in a finite space at an acceptable level of being, just like the nice lady from the Club of Rome said. In this case, though, it's by choice. The O3 molecules, that's the ozone, bond to and destroy the bad-smelling molecules, and the space suddenly smells just like there had been a refreshing thunderstorm. You right now can buy one of these and get one free, which would mean buy 3 and get 3. Go to EdenPureDeals.com, enter code ToddBogo. That's EdenPureDeals.com, enter code ToddBogo, and buy one, get one. EdenPureDeals.com, code TODD3. Let's let the nice lady continue to inform us what they're going to do to us.
We conclude that nothing less than the following 5 extraordinary turnarounds are needed to have well-being for all.
Wow, the catchphrases. Nothing less than the 5 extraordinary turnarounds for well-being for all. A turnaround, by the way, in business sense, is where you stop the existing model, you pivot fully. We no longer make EdenPureDeal.com Oxyleaf 2. We make sandwiches. That's what that means, and she continues.
While respecting planetary boundaries. ending poverty, addressing gross inequality, achieving full gender equity, transforming the food system and the way we eat, transitioning to clean energy and efficient energy. We argue that these 5 extraordinary turnarounds and the set of economic reforms that will drive them form the basis of a well-being economy. It is not a blueprint, but more of a guide for systemic transformation. In this scenario, poverty ends a generation earlier than too little too late. We see gender empowerment in 1 generation, not 10.
These, of course, are the same people who say gender is whatever you wear or whatever pharma makes you out to be or whatever comes out of your mouth. All of this sustainable, all of it on our finite planet, all it respecting planetary boundaries. Did you hear her say that? This respects planetary boundaries, so they don't intend to do this in Venus. Do you see the mix of soaring aspirational rhetoric and absolute tyranny in this? Here's more of her, because she's fun.
We see a switch to healthier plant-based diets. There is still meat consumption, but at sustainable levels.
There's still that's meat consumption, but it's at sustainable levels, meaning we eat it, you eat plants. There's still meat consumption, though, but it's sustainable. A healthier plant-based diet, hogwash. My daughter is a vegan. I love her without limit. I mean, God helps me love her because we can't do that on our own. But yes, I love her without limit. She's a vegan. It's a life choice I respect, and I worry about it because it is not the way God designed us. Not post-garden. In the garden, there wasn't a lot of meat eating, as I understand it, if any. But there's a reason we have canines. Like the teeth that are like canines, that's what they're called, or at least nicknamed. Let's hear more from the nice lady.
And we have carbon dioxide emissions every decade to reach net zero by 2050. The economic model everywhere is circular, regenerative, and efficient.
The economic model everywhere is circular, regenerative, and efficient, and they're going to end poverty. Got that part? Okay, let's hear more.
Material consumption of unsustainable resources is reined in, fossil energy phased out, and we see a significant redistribution of wealth.
Significant. Hey, that's a meaningful word. I wonder what it means. Because significant could mean 1%, because that would be a significant amount of wealth. It could mean 100%. Here's one thing you will know. It will not be their wealth that's redistributed, right? Maybe she'll tell us right here.
In this scenario, we introduce a universal basic dividend operating like a universal basic income.
Like one, but not one.
With dividends coming to all people, sharing the wealth of the global commons and public goods. Who's taking the wealth now? It is not properly redistributed.
You are.
This is not utopic. This is what is fair and just and what a society in transformation is all about. Why do we think this is important? We know the giant leap will be disruptive. We're talking about a complete shakeup.
There we go.
This is everything, everywhere, all at once. It will create shocks. But if it is to succeed, then we must bring the majority of people along the journey.
It will create shocks. Just a couple things. If you're going to eliminate poverty, you have to eliminate people's bad spending decisions. You have to eliminate vice. If you're going to eliminate poverty, you have to eliminate gambling or gambling addiction or porn and porn addictions or alcohol and alcohol addictions or fentanyl and fentanyl addictions. If you're going to end poverty, you have to end pride. But I need a brand new car. I have to have it. I need another credit card. In fact, you need to end credit cards. For many people, they're just as addictive as gambling. You'd have to institute spending. Oh, spending controls. A global dividend to everybody that's like a universal basic income. Oh, and I bet it's going to be in crypto. So, well, no, you can't buy that meat because remember we said there's going to be some meat consumption, but you've gone past your meat limit. I'm sorry. You're going to need to eat the fake meat. It's yummy. It's in a tube. Squeeze it in your mouth. It's like a cow in a tube, but it's fake. That's what they mean. She said we're going to have to bring the people along with us, that it's going to be disruptive. Just a reminder of what the new British Prime Minister said when white people who've been in England for multiple generations got finally pushed, nudged, shoved in the latest stabbing of a 12-year-old girl by a Muslim immigrant. And not all Muslim immigrants are stabbers. I'm always going to say that, even though I shouldn't have to. But all too many have come into the West intent on destroying the West. That is, immigration as a weapon, sexual conquest as a weapon. This is what the British Prime Minister said about that after he applauded the Black Lives Matter Incorporated riots.
Be in no doubt, those that have participated in this violence will face the full force of the law. The police will be making arrests, individuals will be held on remand, charges will follow, and convictions will follow. I guarantee you will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online and then running away themselves. This is not protest. It is organised, violent thuggery, and it has no place on our streets or online.
So some rich people, powerful people in England, up high on the hill, up high in their condos, said to the people down below, hey, for sustainable reasons for a finite neighborhood, we're going to have to dismantle everything. You know, the pond and the farm over there, that can't be there anymore. That's going to be for the newcomers now. And that neighborhood that you've liked so much, that's now for the newcomers. And by the way, they're not going to follow the same laws as we are because it's sustainable, it's fair, it's equity. And we're doing this for your own finite good. Isn't that the way we started this little clip? This clip version of the Todd Herman Show? I think it is. And God does warn people in power. Don't lord your power over others. And as you treat the least of these, so you treat the Lord Jesus. Thank you, Lord, for reminding of this. This is the Todd Herman Show. Please go be well, be strong, be kind, and please make every effort to walk in the light of Christ.